Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, November 12th, 9:30 a.m. meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
Yes. I see a few new faces in the crowd, so we'll tell you how we conduct the proceedings. First, in order of preference, we call the renewals because we can dispose of them fairly quickly. Before that, if there are any requests for adjournments, we will call those cases, and then we will get into the cases themselves. The manner in which the hearings are conducted are as follows. The applicant will present their case. If there are any people in opposition, they will be given the opportunity to be heard. And finally, we will have the applicant or their representative sum up. During the hearings, we will accept almost any evidence. We're not bound by the strict rules of evidence. This is not a court of law. It's an administrative body. However, once we close the hearing, no additional evidence will be allowed to be submitted. We do have a court reporter. The hearings are videotaped, they're archived. We have a court reporter who takes all the notes. Some decisions will be made today, others will have to wait a while, and I think that's all I'm going to say today. We have Patrick.
Mr. Chairman, I do not have any requests for adjournment.
Okay. We have
Mr. Chairman, we'll be calling the renewal first.
Okay.
Case 555-25 through 556-25 East Meadow, 680 Newbridge Road LLC, renewal of grants to use premises for sale and display of used cars with part of building as sales office for permission to park in front yard average setbacks on North Jerusalem Road and Newbridge Road, also known as 680 Newbridge Road.
Robert Litt, Litt Law Group, 66 North Village Avenue, Rockville Center. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Board.
Good morning, Mr.
Pleasure
Litt.
to see all of you on this chilly day. Thank you. My name is Robert Litt, and I am counsel for 680 Newbridge Road LLC, the owner of 680 Newbridge Road, East Meadow. This is a renewal application. My client's property is located in a Business R zoning district. In December 2023, my client purchased the property with the understanding that there were valid existing variances for one, using the premise for sale and display of used cars with part of the building as a sales office, and number two, permission to park in the front yard setback on North Jerusalem Road and Newbridge Road. Upon discovering that these variances were granted only on a temporary basis and expired back on December 8th, 2007, my client filed an application to renew the permits and variances at the premises. The appropriateness of granting my client's request cannot be overstated, as the property has been used for automobile-related uses, including display and sale of used automobiles, at least since the 1990s. My client purchased the property specifically to continue its use to sell and display used cars. It is imperative to note that my client has clean hands here. He only realized this year that the variances and permits had expired and were no longer valid. Thereafter, my client immediately arranged to submit this application. Besides this one understandable oversight, my client has never had any violations issued on the property. As the record demonstrates, my client has followed all the necessary procedures for this application for the two variances, and my client is only seeking to maintain in its current condition and operate the business therein as has been operated for decades. There is certainly no change, negative or otherwise, to the neighboring properties, and no valid reason for these variance renewal requests not to be granted. My client is amenable to abiding by the conditions that have been set forth on the previously granted variances, namely the 5 conditions listed in the January 21, 2004 grants. I have copies of these grants today, and we'll share these with the board if you don't mind, please.
We'll accept those.
Thank you. I have several copies. again, everything will remain the same by granting my client's reasonable requests, and my client happens to be here in the back to answer any questions if the board may have. Thank you, and I'll answer any questions as well. Thank you.
Mr. Litt, for the record, Building Department inspected the premises on September 2nd, 2025, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by the board are being complied with.
Thank
Do
you.
I have any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Litt, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you very much.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Yes. Yep. That does not.
Next, we'll be calling case 54425, Point Lookout, Brian Emery. Variances, subdivision of lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, rear yard, construct a 3-story dwelling, Lot A, west side of Mineola Avenue, 260 feet south of Lido Boulevard. Also case 54525, Point Lookout, Brian Emery. Variances, subdivision of lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, maintained dwelling on a lesser lot, Lot B, also known as 67 Mineola Avenue.
Robert Litt, Litt Law Group, 66 North Village Avenue, Rockville Center, New York.
George Monasterio, 59 Belmore Avenue, Point Lookout, New York, architect.
Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. Good morning.
Oh, sure. Good morning. Thank you very much. I'm going to keep my comments brief. As we all know, my name is Robert Litt, and I am the attorney with Litt Law Group, applicant Mr. Brian Emery, for variances required in order to subdivide a parcel of property into 2 lots, maintaining an existing dwelling on one lot and construct a new single-family home on the other lot. The property is located in a Residence B zoning district. As the board is fully aware, this matter was heard at a hearing on October 15th, 2025. Appearing on behalf of the applicant was myself as attorney, Barry Nelson as the appraiser, and George Monasterio as architect. I repeat and reiterate my testimony and the testimony of the experts co-offered during the previous hearing, which demonstrates that the requested variances should be approved.
Would you like to incorporate that?
Yes, I'd like to incorporate the previous
So moved.
testimony as well. Thank you. As we're here today, because at the end of the previous hearing, a concerned neighbor requested an adjournment of the hearing to engage counsel. My client, his experts, and I are here today to listen to each and every concern that the neighbor has with this application, and we'll do everything we can to address these concerns if possible. My testimony at the previous hearing was clear. The new dwelling will be FEMA compliant, and there's no variances required for the number of stories and height. As for the architect George Monasterio's testimony, it was shown that the variances requested are nominal and do not pose significant variation from the code. Additionally, as Mr. Nelson testified, the application, if granted, will not have a negative impact on the community, as the subject application seeks variances which have been previously approved by this board for other neighboring properties. Therefore, the resultant structures will be in conformance with the character of the neighborhood. Again, we stand by our previously rendered presentation, and we're here to answer any questions the board and/or opposition or neighbors may have regarding this. Thank you.
Would you like to introduce, well, Mr. D'Agostino? Is there anything else you'd like to add at this point,
Not at this
Mr. Litt?
moment, but I would like to reserve comment after Mr. D'Agostino
We
does
un-
his
we
presentation.
understand that,
The only
Counsel.
comment I want to make is that I do know that my office has spoken with Mr. D'Agostino, so there have been discussions and such, and we're here again to answer any questions the board and/or Mr. D'Agostino and/or his client may have.
We
Thank you.
understand. Mr. D'Agostino. Patrick? Mr. D'Agostino, have you been sworn in? Have you been sworn in? Yes. Okay, Patrick? Valley Stream.
I'm sorry, Mr. D'Agostino, could you just tell me, what is your client's address? I want to find your client on my radius map, so. I can't see it.
It's right here. 56.
Oh, here, he's got the address.
Yeah, 56 Mineola.
Okay, thank you. All right, I got it, thank you. Mr. D'Agostino, our jurisdiction, I think, derives from the fact that if you want a building permit, if you want to maintain a house that was given a building permit on a certain size, that's the maintain, our jurisdiction flows from that. And likewise, if you want to build a house on a new piece of property, we have that jurisdiction through our ability to issue or not issue building permits and variances, et cetera, I think, but we can defer to our counsel.
Sorry. We're done now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Which were actually acts of the New York State Legislature, but I'm not going to get into all of that. The building department jurisdiction and the building jurisdiction, you're absolutely correct as to. However, the building permit must be issued pursuant to a validly created lot, and to my knowledge, the only jurisdiction, or the only body that has that jurisdiction is the Nassau County Planning Commission since January of 1945.
But now, we have people who come in all the time who have, in fact, separate tax lots through the county and want to build on them. So I understand what you're saying, but still, they have to get a building permit here. I mean, I'm kind of confused. You've been coming here, at least when I've been here for 21 years, I haven't heard this argument before. It's interesting, but how does it fit with your opposition here? Just boil it down, because.
Well, I'm getting into that, and these are questions, issues, which can be viewed as, for the record, as opposition. But I would state that, number one, the term tax lot is not the equivalent of a subdivision lot. Which is why in this situation, you're dealing with a number of tax lots, which are not subdivision lots. And any application or the issuance of any building permit, in my experience, does require and will absolutely, without doubt in my mind, require a subdivision hearing before the Nassau County Planning Commission.
And that's common, right? That's a relatively common situation. You have to have both, right? There's the overlap. Is that what you mean?
Yes, where there are multiple jurisdictions which must grant approvals, an applicant must get all approvals. But since it references variances, I just wanted to clarify that's factual further on down the line. The next question I have with respect to the notice is toward the end, NCPC, no jurisdiction. I'm assuming that that's a reference to General Municipal Law, Section 239M. And the jurisdiction of any county planning commission is set forth, and there are various triggering items. If they're within 500 feet of the closest point of the property, then there would be 239M jurisdiction, and the cases are very clear on the next point. If there is, and if there's been no referral, any action taken without a review of the County Planning Commission is a jurisdictional nullity. So my question is as follows, and as you know, I've recently retained on this, and I did watch the video as was suggested by the board, but I wasn't clear on whether Lido Beach Boulevard is a county road or a town road. And it may be it's town road. I don't know. I know that the applicant's expert did testify extensively and did submit an extensive report, and I would just posit that question. And the other is the reference to 500 feet within within 500 feet of a recreational area. Looking at the map, and there's a 50-foot road. There is the depth of the lots on my client's side of Mineola Avenue, and there is a beach area beyond that, and I'm not sure if anybody has looked at that to determine whether or not that's a triggering item.
I have Ms. First looking up if she's able to, at least the answer to the first question about whether it's a town or county. I live near there and I can't recall. I felt like it was town, but I have not. So if she gets that answer, we'll at least have that for the record.
Okay. Now, leaving those items out there, I have a number of other questions / issues, which, as I said, for the purposes of the hearing, I would submit our objections. This application is a little unusual in that there is an application for a subdivision of the lot, and there was also an application for a building permit, which I think was approved in July, for the renovation of the existing dwelling, which, as I think you heard coincidentally, was owned by my client's, Dr. Morridge's grandfather, going back to 1947 until the property was ultimately sold. Dr. Morridge's grandfather, as I understand it, was also the owner of the vacant parcel where the larger house is proposed. Therefore, and I've heard different dates as to when the vacant area was acquired. My client's understanding and the family was that it was acquired at the same time in 1947. I believe I heard on the video that the applicant, through one of his experts,
Excuse me.
made a comment that it was acquired later. It really doesn't make any difference for the purpose of my comment. There was a merger of those lots at that point, and any non-conformity as to zoning with respect to the existing home would then have been lost, and the overall lot area, which is greater than the 6,000 square foot requirement in the Residence B zone.
Are you referring, Mr. D'Agostino, I apologize, that lots 67 through 71 merged together? Those are the ones that are
For
before.
zoning purposes?
No, for whatever purpose you're saying this merger happened, I just want to know which lots you're talking about. The subject property?
Yes, this entire property, for
Entire-
zoning purposes was
Six-
merged.
67 through 71.
Just give me a minute, put my glasses on.
Excuse me. Lido Boulevard is a county, Nassau County road.
Thank you.
It's a town road?
County.
It was my investigation, it was a town road. I don't know why I'm having a
If it's a
different
county road,
analysis.
then there absolutely is jurisdiction in the Nassau County Planning Commission pursuant to Section 239M of the General Municipal Law.
Okay.
And I would respectfully submit that this board cannot make a decision until there is a proper submission.
Well, I believe that they made that determination, not us. Doesn't Nassau County decide that? So it went to Nassau County, so that,
Doesn't-
take that up with them, I guess.
Well, I checked recently, and I was told that that there was nothing there, but again, they've got an unusual process.
Excuse me.
I will follow up on that, but if that's...
Excuse me.
Hold on a minute, Mr. D'Agostino.
The Department of Buildings, upon result of this hearing, refers to Nassau County Department of Public Works for Section 239F after, during the building permit review process.
Okay, so it'll be addressed by Nassau County, and they'll decide
It will.
whether or not Nassau County wants to exert jurisdiction on whatever portions of this process it would do so.
I understand, but there are two bases of jurisdiction in the county. That's one, and the other is the subdivision. The subdivision must occur as a result of the county.
Right.
Now, I'm trying to, in answer to your first question, are
You
we
just kept
talking
saying
about
all the property, and I just want to make sure you're telling us 67 through 71, or are you saying other property also merged with it? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
the entire parcel that's before you
Okay, great.
is merged, and there
That's why
is
it's here.
what I would refer to as a surplus in some areas, such as the 6,000 square foot minimum requirement of the Residence B. This is greater than, but the rest of it you can view as it's extra.
Yes, and you're right, it merged, which is why it's here. And we get this also a lot. It merged at some point in time by being held in the same name, and that's why, had it not, obviously, they wouldn't even be here, you know.
Right. Well, that's why they're here to get the variances, obtain variances to allow them to go to the Planning Commission to make an application to the Planning Commission for subdivision. Now, what confused me a little bit, and as I get older, I get confused a little bit more, is the manner this application proceeded. There was a building permit granted. I'm sorry? Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
oh, okay. Is this on?
Yeah, maybe
Yes, it is.
A little, can you bend it? Yeah.
That better? That better? Okay. There was an application made to modify the existing house, what I euphemistically refer to, when speaking to my client, as Grandpa's house, or Grandpa's former house. And there were considerable modifications and improvements which have been made. And that was on the basis of it being on a zoning compliant lot. And the only way it could be on a zoning compliant lot is if you had the entire lot as merged. Now, then an application was made here seeking the variances. So they're sort of proceeding on not in two different directions, but they having a choice of going one way or the other, they elected to go both ways. Was, and again, as I understand it, and I'm coming into this late, so I will preface this with my understanding, subject to being corrected, that the building permit for the improvements to the existing house are based upon the overall lot.
Right, again, a common occurrence. That's why they have to ask to maintain it on a lesser lot, right? They want to make improvements, whatever they are, but
They didn't finish, they're still doing what they're looking to maintain.
I also,
But
Mr.
my questions are emanating from that are the following. In terms of the, obviously the proposed new house is proposed to be FEMA compliant. The proposed existing house appears to me not to be FEMA compliant, and I presume that there was a review of the value of the improvements over what existed. There's an expansion of that house, there's a lot which has gone into it, and then somebody made the determination, hopefully, that the cost of the improvements is less than 50%, does not exceed 50% of what was there.
Yes, that's done by the plans examiners. Also, I stand corrected, apparently we've discovered now that most of Lido Boulevard is a county road, but that portion that's in Olive Point Lookout, or the portion of Lido Boulevard that's in Point Lookout is apparently a town road. Don't ask us why, but that's what counsel to the board has now clarified.
If that's the case, and I asked it as a question, I didn't state it factually, but my next question is the recreation area of the beach, whether that triggers county involvement. Or whether or not there are any county owned drainage channels or anything else down there, because it's unusual that the 239 jurisdiction will not be triggered. But in any event, whatever the facts are, they are. Now, the next question I have is a question that I've heard often asked with respect to Point Lookout. First of all, my understanding is that there are no sewers in Point Lookout. That there are theoretically on-site septic systems. I do have a question as to the septic system for the existing home, where that is located, and what is being proposed for the new home, because they are subject to review and approval. And what has happened in the past, and I'm sure anybody who's familiar with Point Lookout, what has occurred as a result of there not being sanitary sewers down there during storms. One of the standards of subdivision, which the county is going to have to address, is the density of population, what the problems or issues are, and if there are any issues, how they're being addressed. And that's a question that the County Planning Commission will have to look at, and quite likely would have to consult with the County Health Department, which, as you know, is also, by definition, an agent of the New York State Health Department, and whether adding, and the size of the septic systems, the on-site septic systems, is determined by the number of occupants and very often the number of bedrooms in a house.
Right, Mr. D'Agostino, if it would help, just maybe, can you give him the one sentence or two sentence explanation about how that process gets reviewed by our department? Like,
The town of Hempstead refers to the Nassau County Department of Health for all septic systems.
And I've spoken to the Department of Health. They said on unusual situations, they will get involved, and they listed the unusual situations as including situations where part or all of a septic system will end up in a public right-of-way because of engineering difficulties. Again, I have no idea what's planned for this, but I think that should be disclosed, especially with regard to Point Lookout, with the issues that they've had and down there in the past during storms, sewage in the street, because of the high water table and there being no sanitary sewers. Now, there was a comment that was made by the applicant at the last hearing that I viewed online, that it was his intention to have the smaller house, what I refer to as formerly Grandpa's house, improved as a guest house for the larger house. Now, that may be unusual, but it's not totally non-existent. I know of a number of homes, usually older homes, which have guest houses. A guest house implies that it's going to be used in conjunction with the main house, and if that forms any part of the board's decision, should the board approve this, I would think that two things would be required. One, there is, in the infrequent situations where there are guest houses that are approved, they're very often tied to ownership of the main house by a covenant. So that it's not just a case of, get the approval and sell it off, because there was a representation that it was going to be a guest house. The other thing is, to permit the guest house, there's got to be on the same zoning lot, in which case there would be no subdivision at this time. There would have to likely be a variance, a use variance to permit that. But again, I'm only reacting to what was said by the applicant.
yeah, Mr. D'Agostino, usually when we have the owner-occupied stuff going along with new houses, often with subdivisions, the suggestion that we have to tie the guest house to the main house, generally our concern that we're addressing with that is that whoever owns a house lives in it. So I guess I can only speak for myself, but normally it wouldn't matter to me if the owner of the one house was letting his family stay in it,
I agree with you.
or if he actually sold it to a completely different person, as long as that purchaser lived in the house.
Okay,
Because
well, that
we're trying to
wouldn't be a
get away
guest
from the
house.
rental idea. But either way,
But I'm only reacting to what was said at the hearing. There was a statement made by the applicant.
Understood.
That it was his intention to use it as a guest house. If that's his intention, what I've just described is the only way I know how to do it.
Understood.
And it's rather convoluted, and it would not be
Agreed.
a subdivision. Now, again, existing house right now is compliant because it's on the full lot. It could be rendered compliant by putting it on a 6,000 square foot lot, but then you'd have an illegal leftover lot, and the question is, what do you do with that? Just bear with one moment. I'm having trouble reading my own handwriting. So you also have the standards by which this board must adhere in rendering its decision, its deliberations and its decision. And one of the items which in ancient history, when I started, was fatal to an application is whether or not there's self-imposed hardship. Under the present statute, which I think is 267B of the town law, that's something that you have to factor in. And it seems to me that by taking this overly compliant lot, shifting the burden, as it were, with respect to building the newer house on a larger lot, and seeking a variance for the existing lot, and the manner in which this was applied for through the building department, and getting a permit, which would not, for the entire lot, which would imply at least that you're not getting a variance, seeking a variance, now you are. Getting a benefit which the entire lot would not on its own support. So I do think that you have to look at the self-imposed hardship by the decision that was made last July in pulling the permit and improving what I call Grandpa's house, what has been referred to as the guest house, and then coming in and seeking to subdivide it and further reduce the Grandpa's house, which has already been expanded. For purposes of the record, I do think that there has to be, since you're seeking to maintain something, although built in the 30s and acquired by my client's grandfather in 1947, has changed greatly by expanding the house, popping it up, expanding the garage, and how that squares with the FEMA limitation of staying within the 50% rule. This does require a further review and approval by the Planning Commission, and I would just reiterate for the record, there are tax lots that are referred to. Tax lots are not subdivision lots. One would argue that they are totally zoning non-compliant. And in fact, the Department of Assessment has the authority, and sometimes does on its own volition, merge those lots. They are already merged for zoning purposes, but also merge them for tax purposes and tax bills to reduce the amount of paper and separate tax bills that are sent out to clients. I'm sorry, to property owners. Those are my comments. For the record, they're my objections. I think it's any consideration of this application is for variances subject to the further application to the Nassau County Planning Commission for subdivision, and I think you have to address what happens in the event that a subdivision is not granted. They usually are, but if it is not. The variances, I don't believe, can stand on their own on non-existent zoning lots. If you have any further questions of me, I'd be happy to attempt to respond to them, but basically that's my statement.
Thank you, Mr. Damasky.
Thank you.
Mr. Litt?
I only have some very brief responses to some of the comments from Mr. D'Agostino. First of all, as regards to FEMA compliance, it's my understanding that the building department does make that review, and I think Ms. First and Mr. Albert have reviewed this, and that's their auspices, so we were guided by their decisions. Also, I know he mentioned self-imposed hardship. That's just one of the 5 factors, but not every factor that's considered by the board. They understand that as well. Last but not least, one other comment that I have, and I'm going to defer to Max if they have any comments on their own, is that Grandpa's house was built on a 3,000 square foot lot. We're putting the house back on a 3,000 square foot lot, so it's not like we're creating something new and different. We're getting it back to Grandpa's house that it was. So those are my brief comments. I'm going to look to my architect if he has any brief comments at all, or any thoughts and comments at this point. Or
Regarding the septic, I think everyone knows that whenever a new house is built, a engineered septic system is designed and installed, and that was about it.
I don't have any
Okay.
comments to make at this time. I believe I put my testimony on the original hearing. I submitted the appropriate documents to support my testimony.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in connection with this application? We have several people signed in as interested, several people opposed. Speak now, or as the proverb goes, forever hold your peace. Anyone else?
Just a question, I couldn't hear Mr. Litt's statement. There was a FEMA review and approval of this, that it's not, that it's less than the 50%, is that? what was that?
Since
Ms.
any
First.
project that's within the special flood hazard zone must be reviewed for FEMA compliance or substantial improvement or damage prior to going to the Board of Zoning Appeals, since the town of Hempstead has all of their flood construction regulations within the BZO.
So that has happened.
That took
Thank
place.
you. I just didn't hear it.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll just move that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Everyone who signed in on the case will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you all for coming and participating.
thank you very much.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have case 557 of 25, Point Lookout, Jed Rayner. Variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, rear yard, maintain one-story addition and garage conversion turned to unfinished storage, both attached to dwelling, also known as 60 Belmore Avenue.
Thank you. Good morning, members of the board, chairman. My name is Michelle Coslino. My address is 312 Ellington Avenue, East Garden City, New York. I am the agent for the homeowner, Jed Rayner. The subject property is 60 Belmore Avenue, Point Lookout, New York, also known as Section 61, Block 12, Lot 11. The property is located on the east side of Belmore Avenue, 240 feet south side of Belmore Avenue, 240 feet south of Lido Boulevard, in the residential B zone. The application in front of the board today is to maintain a one-story rear addition, which is 6 by 15.1 feet, and to maintain the conversion of an attached garage to an unfinished storage. The first case before the board is for lot coverage, which 27.5% is allowed, 64.3% is being provided. The original dwelling and the attached garage have a total of 60% lot coverage. The owner is requesting relief for 90.6 square feet of that rear addition, which is asking for an increase in the lot coverage of 4.3%.
Okay, hold on, Ms. Castellano.
Sure,
So, the garage got converted to storage for the time being.
Unfinished.
So the structure was already there.
correct.
And then we have this addition. It's an enclosed addition?
It's an enclosed addition that was actually also built in 1955.
So, how much of the structure that one sees standing from the street is new? It has been built in the last 20 years?
None of it.
Okay.
Everything is original
See from the
as
street.
prior to 1955.
And how much, if any, of the lot coverage is open space, like a porch, a deck, or whatever?
There isn't any.
So all
Everything.
64.3%
Is enclosed.
has been there since 1955 or sooner, or earlier,
Earlier, right.
and is all enclosed and has so been.
Yes. I'm sorry, I have photographs to show the board.
When were the photographs taken, and by whom?
The photographs were taken by myself, and they were last week.
And they fairly and accurately represent what they
Yes.
purport to. We'll accept them in evidence.
May I continue?
Yes, please.
You may.
The next case before the board is also for the side yard minimum. 5 foot is required, 2.6 feet and 1.6 feet are provided. The side yard setbacks are the same as the dwelling and the attached garage were originally constructed. The rear addition was constructed in 1955. Once again, even with the sides of the original dwelling, that the dwelling was built in 1930 with a building permit. The next case before the board is also for the side yard.
Wait.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the rear yard?
The rear yard, we're required to have 15, we're just shy of that at 14.3. So we have 8.5 inches shy of the 15 feet required.
Okay, and side yard aggregate, if you gave it, I apologize.
That's okay, the side yard aggregate is, the side yard aggregate is, once again, also 15 feet, and we're providing 4.3, which is once again original to how the structures were constructed back in 1930 and 1951.
And was this, when this house was constructed, was it part of any bigger lot?
No,
It's always been only on this lot?
it was a bungalow, and it still is a bungalow.
Not for long.
Don't say that. The rear addition is being used as bedroom number 2 of the dwelling, and the garage is being converted simply because the homeowner had issues trying to find a garage door to fit the original size garage, and so he decided just to place in a door and a window for light in the area. Once again, it's being kept unfinished, it's not gonna be finished, it's simply storage because there is no storage within the house. That concludes my case. Any questions?
Any other questions? Any questions from the board? If not, I have a motion.
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on decision calendar. Ms. Cossalino, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The southern tier.
Next, we have case 558 of 25, Lido Beach, Michael Barrow, variances, lot area occupied, rear yard, maintain rooftop deck with stairs attached to dwelling, also known as 40 Alivard Street.
I do. My name is Michael Barrow. I'm the owner of 40 Alivard Street, Lido Beach, New York, 11561, town of Hempstead. I'm sorry. Do you need me to repeat that? Hi, yes. I'm petitioning the board today for the allowment of a rear yard setback on an existing deck. During COVID, I employed a Henry Monteverdi to design and permit this deck, and employed a Jonathan Rubin, who is the builder for East End Builders, to build the deck. So they started the process during, we received a permit, they started the process during COVID, and as we were starting to build, the access to the deck was originally planned to be a spiral staircase from the front deck that is already existing to access the roof. As we started building, there were supplied shortfalls, and they were unable to acquire the ordered spiral staircase. Henry then decided to redesign it and reapply for access to the rear of the house. There are no buildings or dwellings behind my house. I only have side neighbors. And what they ended up doing was taking a staircase off the back of the deck and running it to the first floor to access.
Yeah, and this house backs up to a bunch of shrubs, on the other side of which is a parking lot for the town. I'm familiar with the area.
For Lido West, yes, that's correct.
And so, the lot area occupied that you are required to have is 27.5%. And I'm looking here to see, you're proposing, let's see, 48 point, okay, so that comprises, I know, from looking at the plans, you have a front deck with a carport underneath, and you have this rear staircase. So would you agree, if the board were to look favorably upon your application, would a condition that front porch, because this otherwise looks like a high percentage of lot coverage, but because so much of it is open, it's a different animal. Would you agree to a condition that the front porch not be further enclosed in the future?
Correct, yes, I would. Also, when the original front porch was put on, everything around the house was originally solid poured concrete. All of that was demolished and replaced with pavers so that they perk and allow more soil runoff.
And in addition, the only other variance you seek is this rear yard variance, which might seem substantial at 5.4 when 25 is required, but all you have behind you is a bunch of woods and then a parking lot on the other side of that.
Correct. We
So,
go west on the side of that, and none of my neighbors can see the small infringement
yes,
on the.
there's no impact.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to add, sir?
I think that's it.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Second,
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stephanie, how are you doing? You're okay? All right, now we're going to move north, folks. We're moving off this
Next, we have case
Elmont.
55925, Elmont, Robert E. Palettis, and Maribel Campos, mother-daughter residence, second kitchen, also known as 152 Oakley Avenue.
That was Mark, I'll make my comments in camera about that whole thing. Is that the daughter? That's the daughter. Is that the daughter who's going to live downstairs? I don't think so.
She's going to be living upstairs with
Yeah,
her
okay.
parents. She could live in my house, too. Lisa Koshio with Permits R Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike,
Ooh.
number 396, Syosset, New York, 11791.
How come that's not?
Dalia Castellano, 152 Oakley Ave in Elmont. Dalia Castellano, 152 Oakley Ave in Elmont.
Roberto
What's
E.
that?
Pleiades Campos, 152 Oakley Avenue, Elmont.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I am here representing Mr. Campos and his family who are proposing a mother-daughter application. This property is located in a Residence C zone. Mr. Campos and his wife will be living in the primary unit, which is on the main floor. And their 2 sons and 2 daughter-in-laws, along with the one grandchild who is here today, the little baby, will live in the second apartment, which is upstairs. They are all aware of the mother-daughter rules, unit, yes. They are all aware of the mother-daughter rules with one doorbell, one electric meter, one mailbox. We went over that. Mr. Campos respectfully requests your approval.
Mr. Chia, where
Yes.
are the, trying to find plans,
Plans.
elevations and floor plans, am I just missing them?
I think the only thing, I only have a copy of the floor plans with me today.
Okay,
If
have you
you-
been to the house?
If you need that, I can show you. No, I haven't been inside this home.
We have a cellar entrance.
Yes,
What's in the basement, we don't know.
that was,
And we have no plans.
do you want a copy of these?
We'll have to keep them.
That's okay. I have it on the computer, not a problem.
Oh, hold on, I found something. Let's just back up a little bit here.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
you have this family and
two others.
two others, a son or a daughter with a spouse.
Correct.
Okay, and the main unit, you said, is on the main floor.
Main floor, correct.
Okay, it looks like the basement, as you can see, there's a closed permit finishing the basement. It has closets and rooms and a bathroom, a cellar entrance. But is someone living down there as one of the units?
No, it just has storage and whatnot.
Let me see.
Please go in the houses if you can in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, go to the VAR that's related to these questions.
Sure.
No, Board of Architecture review, read all this documentation, to determine whether or not it's suitable to be used in this fashion with all the requirements that one doorbell, one mailbox, all that, all the appearances of a single-family dwelling, and whether or not it's suitable to revert back to a single-family dwelling at the cessation of this use. When there's a cellar, well, the Board of Architectural Review often makes recommendations like get rid of the door at the top of the stairs, the bottom of the stairs, et cetera, put in, because it looks too much like an apartment, which it's not supposed to be, and we give you the opportunity to tell us why, for safety reasons, children, pets, et cetera, and/or unduly burdensome costs. It might not make an argument, at least, as to why you ought not have to do that. In this case, the Board of Architectural Review has determined that it's suitable to be used this way and restorable at the cessation, provided there's no illegal occupancy in the basement. I have a little, this house floor plan looks like 3 units, 1 the basement. Given the way the basement is fully finished, has closets, has a full bath, has an exterior entrance. So if the, if I'm leaving out the basement, this family has, where's that sheet? This family has, there are, wait, I don't even see the little baby on this. Who's the parents of the little baby, Roberto and Mambo?
No, that's the grandparents. It would be Dahlia and Kevin. And the baby's name is Elia, but she wasn't born when this was filled out, but we can add her to the list.
Wait,
Yeah.
Kevin and Dahlia have the baby,
Correct.
and then Justin and Sarah are
Are also, it's Kevin and Justin are brothers,
okay.
and the
it's
2
Sarah-
ladies on there are their wives.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these 2 brothers with their wives are living on the first floor.
They're going to be on the 2nd floor.
And then grandma, mom and dad,
Grandma,
whatever.
grandpa on the 1st floor, correct.
Okay, we're gonna have, does the other family have any babies?
No, no children. No, no children for the other son.
So the second floor has 2 bedrooms, and I have 4 adults and a baby.
Correct.
How's that work?
Right now, it has 2 bedrooms. They're two and two, and then the baby with the parents. 2 adults, and the baby with the parents.
So the baby with the parents is in one room, and the other 2 the other
Couple
couple is in the
in
other bedroom.
the other
I
bedroom.
mean, there is another bedroom downstairs they could use, there's nothing, it doesn't break any rules. And then there's 2 bedrooms on the floor that Grandma and Grandpa had.
Correct.
Okay, it's just really critical that there would be no sleeping in the basement.
Right.
Safety issues, et cetera. And how many doors does that house have? I know it has a cellar entrance, front entrance, another entrance. I guess you got three exterior doors.
It's just the front entrance, the main floor has a back door entrance, like off the kitchen area, and then the cellar egress entrance.
And there's somewhere inside the house you can get to the cellar too, right?
Correct, from the main floor.
They had a senior residence on this. They had a senior residence on this until 2007.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Chairman just noted that in 2007, this house had a senior residence.
It did, before they owned the home.
Any other question? Does that conclude your presentation?
It does, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Kachia, you and your clients, anyone else who signed in on the case, will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second? All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Next, we have cases 56025 through 56125, West Hempstead, Monica Dos Santos. Maintained pool not permitted in front yard on Hempstead Gardens Drive and with less than required setback. Maintained shed with less than required side yard setbacks, also known as 501 Greenwood Court. State your name and address for the record.
Monica Dos Santos, 501 Greenwood Court, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. Good morning.
Richard M. Bavone, 308 East Meadow Avenue, East Meadow, appearing as the agent for the owner, the subject location, 501 Greenwood Court, West Hempstead. Good morning. Respectfully requesting both cases be heard as one. Okay to start? Okay. We have 2 items before the board this morning. One is an existing in-ground pool with a hot tub, which has a front yard setback, which is the side front setback of 7.4 from the property line of Hempstead Gardens Drive. And then we have also an existing shed, but I'll start with the pool first. The house fronts on Greenwood Court, and the pool is not forward of the front line of the dwelling and maintains a setback from Greenwood Court of 36.6 feet from the property line. Pool is approximately 13.9 by 23.8 feet. It's about 330 square feet with a 5 by 6 hot tub, which is in front of it, which is 11.3 feet from the Hempstead Garden Drive property line and 31.6 feet from the Greenwood Court property line. One item that we had corrected on the property is pool was constructed without a permit, and the existing overhead lines did not comply with the electrical code, the residential electrical code of New York State, and also Article 680 of the National Electrical Code. We had PSE&G at the property, and we had a licensed electrician relocate the existing service to the east side of the dwelling, which now we do not have any issues with overhead clearances for high tension wires or any type of service entrance cables. So that's been resolved, which was an important issue for safety. Also on a site plan submitted from the updated survey, the property shows that there's fencing which is over the property line on the Hempstead Gardens Drive side. That is proposed to be relocated to the property line as required by the town code. And the pool fence does meet, the pool fencing at this point, other than relocating it to the property line, will meet the requirement for pool enclosures for the town and also for the building code of the state of New York. There was an above-ground pool for many years in the same location that this in-ground pool was constructed. It was done right about after COVID. Mr. Santos wanted it for her child, for the safety of her child. If you look at the property itself, it was the person that did the pool had a hard time trying to fit it in the back of the house because of the way the back of the house and the odd shape of the property. And also, we felt, looking at it from my perspective, it did create a safety issue with anybody exiting out of the house. So the location that it's in actually does work and achieves what the owner wants, is to have an in-ground pool for her family, to be able to maintain her child on the property. And again, we all know that people were putting pools up around COVID to keep them home, keep the children home. So the shed that's located in the northeast corner is 8 by 10 and 8 foot high. It has a setback to one property line at 2.9, which complies, and the other setback is 1.3, which is about 8.5 inches different, 8.5 inches, which is a 4-inch difference. So it's a shed that's standard, it's used for the pool equipment. The owner did went around to the neighbors, received 8 letters indicating that the neighbors do not have any objection to this board granting the existing pool the way it is today. And the abutting property to the north has a driveway which is to the north of that property, so we do not have any clear sight issue that we have for this property.
Mr. Pavone?
Yes.
The site plan, the official site plan does note the relocation you mentioned as it relates to the fence. The fence is not before us. I assume that's because of this determination about the significant side yard, because the fence isn't before us. Was it originally put in with a permit?
No.
Because it is a front yard fence, which,
Correct.
but for that one interpretation that I don't happen to agree with.
It is for the pool enclosure.
Right, but you have no permit for the fence. It does say it's going to be relocated, and it's your understanding that you don't need any relief from us to do that.
That's correct. That's correct. And we do have an application pending for the existing fencing that is there as it is today, just that we have to relocate.
Right, thank you.
So, excuse me? I'm just about done. So we believe that the existing conditions as they are safe, and we are respectfully requesting that the board approve it. We believe there's no adverse impact to this property and/or the surrounding properties in the neighborhood. That is my case.
Any other questions from the board? Go ahead.
Mr. Pavone, why was the pool put in without a permit? I mean, you come before us now after it's all done, it seems
Yes.
a little
again,
problematic.
We apologize for that, but during COVID, it was very difficult to secure permits. They had a contractor that came in, and Mrs. DeSantis was not aware that a permit was required because the prior pool that was there didn't have a permit also, and the person that they hired said that the permit was not required, that they could just put it in. So, again, not understanding the process that this town requires is one of the issues. And also, we know how all the 40 years plus that I've been doing this, contractors usually come in and just tell you, don't worry about it, it's okay. And we're stuck with this problem. However, we made the attempt to look at everything to make sure that everything is safe, that can, sustain the building code and also the town ordinance, and we believe that this is safe.
Any other questions from the board?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Pavone, you and your client will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you
Second.
very much, and have a
All
great
in
day.
Aye.
favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have case 56225 near Westbury, Michael Rick. Variance, side yards aggregate, maintain addition to rear open patio and cellar entrance wall, both attached to dwelling, also known as 2000 Stratford Drive.
and gentlemen of the board. My name is Dorian Stiff of Oyster Bay Drafting and Architecture, 68 West Main Street in Oyster Bay, 11771. I'm here representing the Rick family. The Ricks built a custom home, which everything was permitted, and everything fell within the zoning requirements. But with all new construction, there were some changes that occurred. Some outdoor furniture was purchased, and they wanted to expand on a masonry patio, which was originally permitted. Unfortunately, in order to accommodate the new furniture, they had, in increasing the masonry patio, they encroached on side yard setbacks and lot coverage. And we're here to discuss that situation.
Okay, and that small matter of that cellar entrance?
The cellar entry was already on the original permit. What happened was that there was a slight modification of increasing its width, but also there was well, not really a situation, but the house that was, when the original surveyor went ahead and staked out the lot, the side yard was brought in a little bit too much. And if you look at we have the original survey.
What do you mean brought in? I don't get that.
Yeah, when the house was staked out, the side yard setback was originally supposed to be set at 22.42. Currently, right now, the stakeout has it at 22.3, so it's a little bit further in than it was before, which resulted in.
Are you talking about, are you talking about when they staked out the piece of property?
Yes,
'Cause
the
it
house.
sounds like you're talking about that, but then you start talking about the setbacks.
Well, yeah, when they staked out the house, I think there was, they staked it out a little bit closer to the side yard. The cellar entry is not increased in size at all. It's just that with that stakeout, that's where that's why we have that encroachment.
Becky, did you want to say something?
This application is a supplement which was brought on after review of the final survey indicated that there was an enlargement on the property and a variance for lot coverage. During the review of the application originally, before issuance of a building permit, the applicants were made aware that they were close to the lot coverage before they were issued a building permit.
Thank you.
But I have okay, I'm still a little confused, because it says it's here, variance, side yard aggregate, maintain the addition to the rear open patio, get it. Then it says, and cellar entrance. So I assume that means, does that mean that you're telling us that it's the cellar entrance is also affecting the side yard aggregate? 'Cause otherwise, it looks like it's to grant the cellar entrance. That's why I'm confused.
Currently, right now, the cellar entry is also encroaching the side yard and the aggregate.
Did it always have the wall, the cellar entrance?
Yes.
So, Ms. First, was your point that they already knew they were close to the amount and did it anyway, or?
No, the lot coverage was not an issue. He was bringing up lot coverage, and lot coverage was not an issue at the time of the issuance of the building permit.
Yeah. Sir, what was the side yard aggregate originally approved? Was it just no variance, or?
Originally, it was 33.08, which is the exact requirement. Currently, right now, we are at 25.40.
Does the patio affect the side yard? If it's flat, or is it elevated?
No, it's coming up 4 more feet. Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The roofed over structure doesn't cover the whole patio. foot 8 inches. Correct.
If the board were to consider granting the relief requested, we would likely want your client to agree to a condition that no portion of the patio, that which is currently roofed, or that which is not currently roofed, or the cellar entrance, any open portion of this lot coverage be enclosed in the future, period. As they
That's
now
fine.
say, hard stop, is that the new one?
Yeah, I believe that the Rick family is very happy with the way everything looks now. So if there is a condition stating that nothing can change, I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with that. They'd agree to that.
Could you confirm that as opposed to saying?
Currently, right now, I would have to talk to the Ricks, but
Okay, could you do
seeing as
that?
how
Go right ahead.
these changes were done during construction and they're happy with everything the way it is right now, I believe that we can get them to agree with that.
Can you call them and do it?
We're thinking we
Today?
could adjourn your case,
You adjourn your case.
Hold
for
it
2
open.
minutes, and you make the phone call.
go outside and
Find out
call.
if the client will read it.
Would you like me to make a phone call for that
Yes.
confirmation?
Yes, and then what we'll do is, when you're done talking with them, we'll hear some cases, and when you're done, come back in, and we'll put it back on the record, so we have it on the record.
Okay.
Okay, so we won't close it, we'll adjourn it until you come back in.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we'll be calling case 56325 Near Island Park, Pedro Walter Cariotti. Variances, front yard average setback, lot area occupied, construct front second-story deck and rear deck with stairs, both attached to dwelling, also known as 147 Audubon Boulevard.
Rebecca Weavers, 66 West Park Ave, Long Beach, New York, 11561, representing the Cariotti resident. I'm here today to request variance for front yard with average setback, lot area occupied, and rear yard. All of these requests are for decks. I have a front deck, which is 107.5 square feet, which is also 2.15% of the lot coverage, that we're requesting a variance for to 20.9 to the deck, and our average front yard that exists is 25.8. We are also requesting a rear yard of 16.2, where we are allowed 20 feet. And then we are requesting a side yard of 11 to the stair and deck, where we are allowed 8 feet. Sure. It's 37.21. The existing dwelling is the 27.5% that's allowable. That's correct. That is. They're currently designed as pressure-treated decks, as they would not be enclosed unless they would have to be redone. I am.
And when you are done here, would you mind confirming that? And if there's any, by any chance they say no, let us know.
Absolutely.
And the front yard average is 1.58, and you propose 20.9.
That's correct.
I'm a little slow today.
I'm looking at photographs, existing pictures, and the cement block. Is this a foundation or the first floor?
So the house was originally designed by another architect, and they had some issues that came into play with the survey and height being misinformed, so we had taken the project over and those pictures are from the initial build prior to, I believe the ones you're looking at, prior to it being fully completed.
So this isn't what it looks like now, it's completed.
Correct.
Was this removed or is this still there?
It's
I
still
mean,
there.
is this portion structure, was it changed? What was-
No.
No.
Does it remain? Would that remain?
I haven't seen, I'm not in the construction business, but cement block is,
Yeah, you don't see it used as often anymore.
no.
Yeah.
Particularly in Island Park, Post
Yeah,
Sandy.
I know. Typically not the way that we do it. That's why I mentioned someone else previously designing.
Who
Right.
shall remain unnamed.
That is true.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Yeah, but they were properly. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, but they were wrong. They were sent out according to the statute. What are you gonna do? Can't force people to accept them. Nope.
Rebecca?
You're gonna make that phone call. 5 minutes? Right. All right. Did we have a motion on that?
Yeah, we did.
We did? Closed it? Okay, so, all right. We're going to take a 10-minute break to allow the court reporter to flex her fingers and get some blood in. We'll be back. 562. Yeah. All right, all right. One, two, three, we have four of us. Okay. Have a seat.
Apparently he did that to everyone.
Okay. All right, Patrick. We're going to recall case 562 of 25, Michael Rick. Did you have the opportunity to speak to your client, sir?
And that they are willing, that they are very happy with the way everything is right now, and they have no plans to do any more work in the backyard.
And they will agree not to enclose any of the open items?
Yes. What I spoke to him about, I basically said, everything has to stay the way it is. You can't make any more modifications or additions.
That's,
Can you just state your name again for the record?
Sure. Dorian Stith from Oyster Bay Drafting and Architecture.
Okay, thank you. May close it now. With that, Mr. Chairman, I will move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Welcome. The other young lady is going to call,
Yeah,
but
and they said yes unless she comes back.
I like that.
Next, we're going to call case 564, 25 through 566, 25 Baldwin, John Carapella. Use variance to maintain two-story accessory structure higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximum on all sides. Variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, maintain rear roof over attached dwelling. Variance, front yard average setback, maintain front roof over attached dwelling, also known as 1875 Fargo Street.
What in the name of God?
Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Dominic Carapella, 1875 Fargo Street, Baldwin, New York, 11510.
This is a new kind of case for you, Ms. Pangallo?
Yes, it is.
Not exactly, but
It's different.
Dominic, what is your relationship to John, who is the applicant?
Well, that's my dad.
Okay. Is he available, is he alive and so on?
He's recently deceased.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
Okay. So I'm representing the estate of John Carapella at 1875 Fargo Street in Baldwin. The property is located on the east side of Fargo Street, 100 feet south of Pilgrim Avenue in Residence B. We're requesting a variance to maintain a two-story structure higher and larger than permitted and exceeding the horizontal maximum on each side, a rear roof over attached to the dwelling that violates the lot coverage, side yard aggregate, and a front roof over attached to the dwelling that violates the average front yard setback.
Ms. Pangallo, have you
Yes.
been in the house in that structure, that converted garage to two-story garage?
Yes, I have, and I also have pictures of the inside of the garage, the second floor, so you can see that there is
Okay.
just all
Okay.
storage.
I didn't want to interrupt
there.
your, keep,
Yeah,
You took those photos?
yes, I did.
When
Probably about 6 months ago.
they fairly and accurately represent what they purport to?
Yes. Let me move some stuff out.
I'll accept it.
That they're selling the house, okay. The two-story dwelling and the two-car detached garage are non-conforming and were built in 1925 on a 40 by 100 lot. Approximately 50 years ago, that second story was added to the detached garage.
how long ago?
50.
Over 50 years ago,
That was when that second level was added to the garage.
correct.
and that would have required a building permit at that time as well?
Correct. As per Lou Carnival, a garage cannot have a second story, so this is now considered an accessory structure. An accessory structure cannot be larger than 12 by 12 or higher than 9 feet. This is a 25.2 by 18.4, and the height is provided is 18 feet 8 inches. The maximum square footage allowed is 144 square feet for an accessory structure, and our square feet is 407.43 square feet.
Do you happen to know,
407.43 square feet?
And that 18.8 height, you're using ridge, not average?
Correct.
what is the height of the dwelling, if you know that one?
I don't have the height of the dwelling.
Which dwelling, the garage dwelling or the other?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a two-story non-conforming, but I don't think the height.
Is there an interior fixed staircase? I can't tell that.
For the garage, no, there was a staircase at one point. The stairs were removed years ago, and now there's just a ladder to go up and down
An
in the garage.
interior ladder?
Correct.
Is
you know
there
what-
plumbing?
No, no plumbing.
So
When
I,
will this-
your turn.
When were the stairs removed, do you know? I'm gonna
A
call
couple
you
of years
Dominic.
ago? Do you remember exactly the stairs? A couple of years ago, the stairs were removed?
When? Give me a number.
I'm going to say 2022.
Thank you.
COVID stair removal? Post-COVID stair removal?
Yeah, 22 would be post, right.
Pulled them out so my dad can't go up there. He liked to go up there, that was his cantina. So it was only used for salami, prosciutto, wine, peppers. So
Oh.
we took the stairs out because he still wanted to go up there, so that's it. So,
The lower level, it's no longer a garage either, the downstairs.
Well, it's still a garage.
You could open up the doors and put a car in there?
Yes.
it's a two-car garage.
Yes. It's just, I guess we can't refer to it as a garage because of the
No, I
second story.
understand.
Okay, so the lot coverage allowed is 27.5%, and the lot coverage provided is 43.5%.
.5. How
As is
much
at the
of
second-
that, how much of that is the garage, the structure?
The garage is, well, it's 407.43.
Percentage. But did you hear that was the dad's?
Of course.
Cantina. I can appreciate that.
If you had gone up there and
So the garage is 10% of the
gone
property.
up there and had some wine and tried coming down on the ladder, there would have been a
Directly
premature
behind the
death.
garage is where the neighbor is a 25 by 31 garage that's 17 feet high that was granted under case number 22.4219, which is for a therapy room for an injured police officer. So that's
Okay,
what's
hold on.
behind our garage.
Hold on.
Sure.
Which one is that compared to where your garage is?
The house behind him.
So is that the Lewis Mathis?
Check the radius map. Correct.
See, it's kind of offset.
Yes.
So on the Lewis Mathis property, there's a garage, a structure as their garage that is 1 foot, we were at 18.8, was it?
Yeah, which is, yes,
A foot
and
and a
that
half
is 17.
shorter. It's a foot and a half shorter and has a second level for therapy. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't have a second level, but it is 17 feet high.
They're directly back to back.
And the purpose of that, I think it got talked over. It was granted by the board on what conditions,
There's a
the
therapy
reason?
room and a bathroom in there for an injured police officer. So that was why
And
that was
when was
granted.
that granted?
2022.
And was that a
That was-
temporary grant?
The therapy room and the bathroom were to be removed when the house is sold on that grant. We're also requesting a variance to maintain a rear roof over patio that exceeds the lot coverage of 27.5%, where the lot coverage is 43.5. The side yard aggregate required is 5 feet, and the side yard provided is 0.5 feet. The side yard, the side yard required is 5
Yeah.
feet. The side yard provided is 0.5. The side yard aggregate required is...
6 inches?
Correct.
Go ahead on the
The side yard aggregate required is 15 feet, and the aggregate provided is 8.6. This has also been there over 50 years, and we would certainly make the agreement that this not be enclosed if the board just grants this variance.
The side yard and side yard aggregates, those are the closest points. Those are this garage structure.
No, the side yard aggregate is for the rear roof over the patio.
Okay, well, the garage is probably pretty close, right, because it's detached?
The garage is 2.2 side yard and 2-foot rear yard.
Okay, so the closest part is something that we can contain open.
Yes. There's also a front roof over that violates the average front yard setback of 20.4 feet. The front yard setback provided is 14 feet. This was there when Mr. Carapella purchased the house in the 30s. There are no complaints from the neighbors for these structures being there all these years, and Mr. Carapella has recently passed away, and the house is sold and under contract. And,
It's sold?
It's being sold, and it's under contract. They're closing shortly. I'm sorry, it has not closed yet.
Is there money being held in escrow payment?
They haven't closed yet.
Okay, sorry.
There will be.
They
of
need to
money.
meet all the conditions of the non-conforming in order to obtain their non-conforming CO, and we're respectfully asking the board to grant these variances.
So did Mr. Carapella cause these additions to be made under his ownership?
Other than he purchased the house with that little front roof over. That was there when he purchased it in the 30s.
Two-car garage was there, and then he put this
Correct.
man cave.
Mr. Mangallo,
His cantina, his tomatoes and wine.
Since Reagan's first term.
Okay, so Ms. Mangallo, you mentioned the non-conforming.
Yes.
And as to the conditions, I know this is part of meeting those conditions. Are, with this application and whatever other ride-alongs or as-of rights, will all these conditions be addressed and met?
Yes.
Yeah, but that thing?
And so the garage was probably part of the non-conforming, but not once it got a second level, or it was never part of it?
Yeah, the non-conforming was a one-family dwelling and two-car detached garage. That was the non-conforming, and then the addition was what we had a file for.
I asked you this already, Ms. Pengallo, but any of the front and the rear, if we were to look kindly on those requests, the client would agree to a condition they not be further enclosed in the future?
Yes. It would be the whole garage. There should be pictures of the complete garage. Oh, that's the second floor. Yes. No, I was thinking the second floor was the addition. I didn't take any pictures of the first floor. Right, when the house is...
That's all cleaned out. The second, yeah. Wow, This is
Yeah.
just recent, I'm talking the last 2 weeks, we're cleaning everything out.
There's no plumbing in there, right?
Correct.
And is there not heat,
No heat.
but just electric?
Yes. No.
If not, Mr. Chairman, I would move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Pangallo, you and your client will be notified.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Aye.
Next, we have cases 567 through 56825 East Meadow, Richard Leone. Variance, lot area occupied, maintained deck attached to dwelling, special exception to maintain accessory structure shed exceeding horizontal maximum with lot area occupied variance, also known as 1984 School Street.
My name is Stella Vlahos-Kitas from Arshatar Consulting Engineers at 6500 Jericho Turnpike, Syosset, New York 11791. I'm here representing the Leone residence, 1984 School Street, which is 15 feet south of Village Drive. We are requesting a variance for lot area occupied to maintain a deck attached to the dwelling, and a special exception to maintain an accessory structure, which is one of those PVC sheds, which is exceeding the horizontal maximum with lot. I'm sorry. Okay. We are requesting a variance for a lot area occupied to maintain a deck, which is attached to the house. We're also asking for a special exception to maintain an accessory structure, which is those PVC sheds, which is exceeding the horizontal maximum with lot area occupied variance. It's a Residence B zone. Yes, with the deck and everything, the maximum required lot coverage is 25%, and I think with the deck it comes to 32%. It's Residence B, is what I have. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
If it's a Residence B zone, the allowable is 27 and a half.
Okay.
So
We have 32.5 with the deck included.
How much of that is the deck?
The deck square footage
What
it's
perc-
878 square feet, the deck.
Which translates to what percent?
That we don't,
Do the math.
then I could calculate.
Is the deck open? Couture. Is the deck open? Gotta be named that way.
definitely, yeah, it's big. Quick top deck elevation, 97. And a gazebo. Look at this top deck.
Gazebo's not on it.
Becky, are you looking at this one?
Thank you.
See the gazebo?
Thank you. 8.6%.
8.6% is this, the deck. Now, is that the deck that on the site plan says top deck elevation 97.6, raised deck?
It's, yes,
And is the gazebo part of that?
yes it is.
Was that gazebo was calculated in that? And because The gazebo, I guess since it's attached to the deck, it doesn't need the horizontal stuff, correct? So if we were to consider this application, given the lot coverage you're proposing, would your client, or are you the client? I apologize. Agree to that the deck, when it says top deck, is there a deck below it too?
No, I don't know why these, it's just a plain deck going right out from the back of the house. I don't know why it says top.
Okay, so the deck and gazebo and the open front porch.
That's just one level.
Okay. So the deck, the gazebo, and the open front porch would never be further enclosed? Is that acceptable?
It's acceptable.
Okay.
It's about 30 inches, 28 inches. It's the fourth step, you're on the top.
And just so we put the number on the record, the shed is 14.7 by 7.7, which means two of the sides are 14.7, where the maximum is 12. So those where you need the horizontal maximum.
Yeah, the owner just purchased one of those from Home Depot, not realizing that there's a max in the width, and it was just a 12.
So Becky, without the deck, the house meets easily.
What about the outdoor kitchen? That doesn't appear on the plot plan.
The outdoor kitchen is on the deck.
That's when we got the permit, 2022.
Yeah. Original date was 1/15.
We've been going quite a while. There's a couple of applications that are attached to it. We're trying to get the CO, so we have an application for the fence, the basement. There's a couple of applications that are in the process since then, and it's taken us quite a while to get to.
There's a basement?
The basement is the original part of the original house, which is like 600 square feet, that they're using just for storage. They are looking to, there is an application to finish it and put it like an egress windows in case the,
That's an as of right along, I take it?
yes.
How many applications do you have to finish up?
Um,
Legalizing what, finish up?
They
Legalizing
have-
what's there, other than the ones before us?
They have, well, they're done, the AC, the application for the AC units, the fence, that's completed. There is,
When you say completed, I'm sorry.
they're just waiting for the inspection and
Okay,
finish this
so
up.
you mean, these are items you put applications in, you've done the
Yes,
work,
yes,
and you just need to close?
yes, they're all
So
being
You
closed.
need AC, you need fence,
The fence, we had the deck,
so the deck is here.
yes, the deck and the gazebo is also, they requested it.
So there's two others besides the ones before us that are as of right, or are they coming here?
They're not coming here. This is the only two items that are coming here. Everything else is applied for.
Gazebo application and the outdoor kitchen application will be merged to this application since they are part of the deck.
So, but the fence is as of right as far as proposed, and the AC unit?
I don't know whether you said it, what brings you before the board today? You selling the house, or?
No, they have two little kids, and the owner just wants to make everything right, clear, and they're not planning to sell. It's their forever home. They're growing their two little boys here, and they just want everything done.
There were no complaints and no citations?
No complaints, no.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You and your client will both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You did.
I don't think
Next, we have cases 569 through 57025, East Atlantic Beach, Joseph and Marissa Zenny. Variances, front yard average setback, rear yard, construct third floor addition and open roof porch attached to dwelling, install pool not permitted in the side yard and pool equipment not permitted in the front yard, also known as 95 Troy Avenue.
This is interesting. The realtor's coming in to testify.
Marissa Zini, 95 Troy Avenue, East Atlantic Beach, New York, 11561.
Joseph Zini, 95 Troy Avenue, East Atlantic Beach, New York, 11561.
Adam Charles, 332 Earl Avenue, Lynbrook, New York, 11563.
And you are an architect, an engineer, or?
I work for John Capigliano Architect.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Morning.
For the record, my name is Wayne Edwards, Sawn Ward, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York. I'm the attorney for the applicants, Joseph and Marissa Zini, who own the property located at 95 Troy Avenue in East Atlantic Beach. The premise is known as Section 58, Block 122, Lots 106 and 107. On the land and tax map, it is zoned residential C on the official zoning map of the town of Hempstead. I'm sorry. I have to make this a little.
You can take that out of that.
Actually, maybe.
Two-family.
The property is also located in a flood zone AE 11. The property is currently improved with a single-family house which was constructed in 1950, originally as a two-family house. I've submitted as Exhibit 1 in the packets that I've given you copies of the CO report, which indicates of the tax of the Nassau County records, which indicate they carried it as a two-family house in 1950.
What, was it legal in two-family?
And then it converted, as you'll see in terms of the second exhibit, which is the CO report. At some point in time, went to a single-family house, then came back to this board to maintain a two-family house in 1970. So it's been going back and forth. My clients are currently using it as a single-family house, and will continue to use it as a single-family house.
Did you see one of the photos? Looked like they were like
3 meters.
But it's a single-family house, and it was formerly used as a two-family house, so no one ever really switched over to the electrical service. Like many residents on the barrier beaches of Long Beach and East Atlantic Beach and Atlantic Beach, the end of October in 2012 was infamous for all of us, and it was a difficult time for all the South Shore communities, especially them. The applicants have a long history in this community. They met as teenagers at Silver Point Beach. Mr. Zini was a cabana boy, was a lifeguard, was a cabana boy, and his wife was a lifeguard. And it's almost like the Flamingo Kid, if you ever saw that movie. They both loved the area, and this is where they wanted to live. Mr. Zini found an apartment on Oswego when he was, before he got married. And when they got married, they purchased a home on 90 Brookline Avenue. That home, unfortunately, felt the effects of Hurricane Sandy, and what ended up happening is that they had to move out. They weren't insured. They didn't have the money to rehabilitate that home. They rented the house on Brookline, which is a subject property, and a few years later, they bought the property and have been living there with their 2 children. They've been working relentlessly to save money to make these major, modernize the house, bring it up to FEMA standards, and that's why they're here before you today.
Wait, Brookline, but that subject house is on Troy.
Troy, I mean, they moved the Brookline now on Troy, I'm sorry. The house came with, is basically, came with an extra lot, which is lot 107, which is 15 by 60. Which was included in the sale, and during the time in East Atlantic Beach, they became an integral part. I've submitted letters of support from their neighbors for you. I've marked off the ones that were close by on the radius map. The lot is 90 by 60. I would like to have a copy of the tax map. You'll see that there are many smaller houses on what would be single lots, 30 by 60. This is a mixed area. There are some larger lots and smaller lots. This is one of the largest lots on the street.
Mr. Edwards?
Yes.
So, with this application, is the request include reverting to a single-family
Yes.
dwelling?
Yes,
and
it's gonna be
being
used-
CO'd as that?
It will be CO'd as that. You'll see the plans are basically for a single-family house. So we have an application not to build a new house, but to renovate the existing house. What they plan to do is take the first floor and make it FEMA compliant. They'll have a two-car garage and a single-car garage. There'll be storage. The entryway will be on that floor, but there'll be no occupancy on that floor, and they will bring it up to FEMA standards. Then you will take the second floor of the house, and that will be the living area. That's where they'll have the bedrooms for the children, bathrooms, kitchen, living room, dining room. And then there'll be a half-story above that, which will be the master bedroom suite and an office for Mr. Sweeney, who runs a landscaping business on the South Shore. That will overlook the living room and the dining room. So it basically becomes a 2.5-story house. Otherwise, if you looked at the house, other than seeing new modern materials, it's basically the same structure. It's going to be 30 feet high. It's not going to be, I have photos in the last exhibit of other houses that have been built in that area, not to locate them, this board approved, on smaller lots, larger lots, which are a lot taller, have a lot modern looking, have outdoor staircases. This will have an interior staircase coming in off of the street.
Mr. Edwards, so looking at the elevations, I see your DFE of 13, of course, but in looking to see the height from the DFE, the line that shows 30 appears to go from the ridge to the crown of the road instead of from the DFE, so I'm a little confused.
I'll have to have the architect answer that one, but it's been reviewed by the town, and we weren't requested to get a height variance.
No, I don't think you need height
Yeah,
variance.
right.
I just think the numbers are wrong.
Okay.
Becky, will you look at that?
So on the upstairs, there'll be a master bedroom suite. In addition, the Zinis have proposed putting a pool on lot 107. This will be a side yard. This requested a side yard variance to install a pool. The house will maintain its, as I indicate, maintain a 30-foot height, not require a variance through the application, requires 3 variances. One for the pool. An average front yard setback is now 15.8. The front yard setback isn't changing. It was built as 13.92, so it's remaining. In addition, we're going to need a rear yard variance. The rear yard is now 12.61. Required would be 15 feet. So that would be able, it's the same rear yard variance that we have. In fact, it's improving because if you'll note on the plans, we're taking off an enclosed porch that was approved by this board a number of years ago, so now it'll be a pure rear yard. Regarding the pool, we need a side yard variance, a variance to install a pool in the side yard. It will have a setback on of 4 feet on the south side of the property, 5.7 from the house, and a setback from the front yard. It will have a setback 15 feet from the rear yard. Even though the house is a few blocks from the beach, everybody thinks when you live near the beach, you go into the ocean all the time, but if you've ever been to the cabana clubs along the South Shore, they all have pools, and that's where most of the activity is. People like being in pools, and as long as they have the extra property, they have young children, they like to have their children swim in the pool, because swimming in the ocean can be a little hazardous sometimes. As indicated, they love living in the area, their neighbors love them, and they're requesting the variance from the board in terms of the balancing test. There's really no judgment to the area. It's an improvement for the area as well as for the Zini's life and family. So at this time, I'd like to request the board to grant the variances. I do understand there's one neighbor who would like to speak in support of the application, and so if you can call him afterwards. And if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer you. Mr. and Mrs. Zini to my right, and the architect as well.
Okay,
Excuse me? Okay, From the elevation, the required elevation of 13 feet, the house is only 23.69 feet.
That's what I thought. They
to
could
the
build it
ridge.
7 feet higher, right?
Correct. It's 37.69 from the
Don't give
crown
me
of the
any
road
ideas.
No, I'm just saying.
and 23 from the DFE.
Yeah, the architect put the elevation to the ridge from the crown. That doesn't apply in a FEMA case from the DFE. So you have 30 feet from 13. Anyway, so that's what I thought.
The short version means you don't need a variance for height.
Right. But I still want the numbers correct. We need him to correct that, by the way.
Correct.
I think that was the direction from the plan examiner, but it would be more.
Pardon me?
Be the direction from the plan examiner. From the crown.
She's the plan examiner.
Yeah, Becky, can we have him change it on the official one?
That concludes your case,
concludes my
Ms.
case.
Edwards? Someone else wants to speak?
We have a neighbor.
Okay. You don't need it. Okay. I'll assume he's in favor. Of course. So why waste our time? We're going to approve the goddamn thing anyway.
My name is Joseph Sinona. I am a real estate broker licensed in New York,
We won't hold it
and I
against you.
have known the Zenni family probably for about 19 years. I did rent to Joseph Zenni, his first apartment in Oswego Avenue. By the way, I live at 51 Oswego Avenue, East Atlantic Beach. In full disclosure, I know Marissa and her family. We go back with her family, a very prominent family in Queens. They own 3 real estate offices, and we're all very good friends on the Crofassi side, Crofassi Realty. I speak as a neighbor, as a friend today to the Zenni family because I've watched many families leave our community, leave New York in general. This year I relocated 7 families down south. I don't want to see another family leave our area, and that's why I'm here. I took my time to come here to address you all, to probably find it in your hearts to keep them and their family together. I mean, they go to the same schools as my children, but their children go to the same schools as my children, and I feel passionate about keeping families in East Atlantic Beach. I grew up there myself, and I know what it's like to have the sand in your shoes, but sometimes you have to have a pool in your backyard too. And my kids have always wanted a pool as well. So maybe one day I'll be sitting in their seat soon and asking you for a pool variance as well.
Don't grant it.
Say it again?
Don't grant it.
Oh, yeah, we
Go in
can
their
have
pool.
play dates in their
That's it.
pool, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Joe doesn't allow that, but, but I just, I felt very passionate to come here today and speak in their favor because I really believe that we should keep our families tight-knit in our communities here on the South Shore and all throughout Long Island. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Edwards?
Well, I'd just like to say, this may be probably going to be my last case before this board. Hopefully by the end of this year, and maybe the beginning of next year, I'm going to retire.
Oh.
And,
Did you get his card to get relocated south?
in 1978, I did my first case before this board, and it's always been a pleasure, and it's always been my favorite board. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. You'll be missed.
Thank you.
You will be missed.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Take care. Good luck. Enjoy your retirement. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed and matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Edwards, you and your clients and everyone else who signed in the case will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail. Once it's rendered, enjoy your retirement. Maybe come back and see us if you can.
Second. I never will. All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Zenni?
Well done.
Next, we'll be calling case 57125, Point Lookout, Christopher and Christina Kyle. Variances, lot area occupied, rear yard maintained second-story deck and roof deck, both attached to dwelling, also known as 135 Freeport Avenue. Just, you've been sworn in already, just your name and address again for the record.
Good afternoon. I will try my best.
Today must be South Shore Day,
I
because
know, they're all on the
Point
they're all on
Lookout,
the calendar.
Oceanside, East Atlantic Beach, my heavens.
So I'm the agent for the homeowner Christopher and Christina Kyle. Owners of the subject property is 135 Freeport Avenue in Point Lookout, Section 61, Block 17, Lot 28 and 29. It's located on the west side of Freeport Avenue, 137.5 feet north of Ocean Boulevard. We're located in a residential B zone. The subject property is 70 by 60, 4,200 square feet in total. It is a double lot.
Okay.
Shocker.
Double lot that's
By some
70
standards.
Correct. Well, for Point Lookout, it's a double lot. A permit was issued back in December of 2024 under building permit number 24-12129. That was for proposed interior alterations and also to two proposed decks and balconies and a rooftop deck.
As of right or through this board?
As of right. After the issuance of that building permit, in the midst of construction, there were some alterations that were made by the homeowners that now triggered us to submit in a supplement, which now led us to here.
You know how bad that looks? And you're not alone, we see this, but it's sort of like,
It's not a fun situation.
I
I would
believe
like
you.
to at least submit in photographs to show the board the existing house as it was prior to the construction and then after it was completed. The first case in front of the board today was obviously for lot coverage. 27.5% is allowed. We are requesting 41.1%, which is what is provided. It's an increase in the lot coverage simply for the second floor level balcony and the stairs to access the rooftop deck.
wait, so when they got the permit as of right to do this deck or whatever, they would have still been under 27 and a half.
They still would have been at what they were, yes, they had the actual, nothing changed regarding the
What I'm
lot
saying
coverage at
is,
that point.
we went up 14% in lot coverage from 27 and a half to 41, right?
We went from 38.3% to 41.1%. 38.3% was the previous variance that was done back in 2002.
Okay, wait, so that's why I asked you earlier if the other word was as of right.
The other application was given as of right because we didn't increase in lot coverage. We didn't have any rear yard setback situations or side yards.
Okay, so when they went in for the most recent permit, the lot coverage was already 38,
Correct.
but they didn't, and they just asked for interior alterations?
And correct, which were already in the footprint of the existing house.
Right, but they didn't ask for anything outside?
No.
Otherwise,
They did ask for decks. There was a deck and a spiral staircase that did not increase the lot coverage at that point. We did some alterations, which now we needed additional space, and,
okay, let me,
sure.
if the house is already at 38%, I get the interior alterations, but if they wanted any exterior, why would they not need a relief to go above 38, even if it was 1%?
I'm looking.
Thank you. Because you understand my question, right?
Yes, 100%. We also did some
Otherwise, it looks like 27 to 41, ooh, they made a little change?
No, I understand. Part of the application, or parts of the application that we submitted recently, was also to reconstruct previous constructed decks that were falling apart and weren't constructed properly. So it accounted for parts of the original square foot.
Might well grow those too,
Correct, while we were at it.
outside the permit without allowing.
So while Ms. First is looking that up, may I just continue on with the presentation? So the first case obviously was for lot coverage. The second case was for the rear yard. 15 foot is required. We have 6.25 feet, which is what is provided. I would also like to point out that to the original dwelling, the rear yard is 5.3. And the addition, once again, is 6.25 feet.
Take a look.
The deck, just tell us how we got, what the permit allowed them to do and what they actually did to get to why they need relief now.
So they're asking for relief now because they've extended the deck and the balcony and the deck and the spiral staircase towards the rear of the house in order for them not to have an obstruction to their view in the window.
But what was when they got do I correctly understand that they got an as-of-right permit?
Yes.
To put on some sort of deck?
Yes.
So that meant it wasn't increasing lot coverage?
Correct. It was in the footprint of what was originally granted prior.
Okay, so the permit was to replace the broken-down deck?
Correct. And also add parts of a new, but it did not increase on the lot coverage because it was still within the footprints of the existing house.
Not quite following how you do that, but anyway, so they got the as-of-right permit to do the deck, replace the existing deck, whatever.
Yes.
And then how much larger did they actually install?
So we increased it by a 2.8% in the lot coverage. So we went, once again, from 38.3, which was previously done and approved, to a 41.1%. Does that make sense?
Kind of, but I'm still not clear on how you get as-of-right stuff to already exceed lot coverage, and then you build it bigger and...
So we had the staircase originally in line with the decks that we were proposing, with the balconies that we were proposing. Eventually, the homeowners decided to put in a spiral staircase and set it back so that they wouldn't have staircases going across their kind of like an emergency escape on a, New York City building. They didn't want to have to see the staircases in front of their windows, so they decided to do a spiral, try to keep it in line, and also bring it all the way up to the third-story deck.
Yeah, it's just it's the lot coverage. As of right, I'm not clear on how you got as-of-right permits to build anything outside of the footprint, because it was already at 38. That's where I'm getting
confused.
Ms. First will clear that up.
Okay. I do have 11 out of the 12 supporting in favor letters from the surrounding neighbors. The dwelling and the property are maintained in good, clean, superb conditions, and the Kyles have been there practically all their lives, along with their families prior, their, parents and so forth, and they would like to stay there and would like the board to grant them the relief.
And we may accept the condition if we were to approve the case that everything that is currently open not be in any way further enclosed.
Correct.
That includes by a roof or anything else.
Yes.
Can you see what I'm pointing to? It's like,
Can I come up?
of course.
Thank you, I'm sorry, my vision is not.
Can't imagine who that was. Really? Okay. Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
That concludes my case. If anyone has any questions, I'll gladly answer.
we have someone here who signed in opposition.
Sure.
Ms. Cullen. Stressful winter.
I do.
My name is Tara, T-A-R-A, Cullen, C-U-L-L-E-N. Address 133 Freeport Avenue, Point Lookout, New York, 11569. Thank you for your
Morning.
time today. Good morning. I'm a little nervous, so thank you for your, oh. Okay. So I did a little brief. The Kyles at 135 showed me their approved plans. I live at 133, so I'm their neighbor. In September of 224, before the construction started, confirming to me.
Ms. Cullen, could you please speak a little more slowly?
Oh, sure.
All
I'm
right?
so sorry.
We understand you're a little nervous, but this is not a court of law. You don't
Thank
need to
you.
be
I
nervous.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
The Kyles showed me their approved plans in September 224, before the construction started, confirming to me this renovation would not obstruct my current backyard view of the ocean. However, on April 22nd of 2025, I saw a ground to first floor spiral staircase erected. On April 25 of 225, I saw a second floor to rooftop staircase built with an extended platform from the rooftop deck. I came to the town of Hempstead on April 29th and spoke to Mr. Michael Young, requesting if this required variances, as it was not the approved plans on file. He confirmed he would come to the property on April 30th, and he was surprised he had not been requested to go to this property before. As I saw nothing changed, I came to the town of Hempstead and I filed a complaint in person with the complaint department on July 2nd, yet it was never submitted. That was confirmed by Mr. Puglisi as I came back on July 9th to see what the protocol for my complaint was going to happen. I met with Mr. Michael Young and Mr. Puglisi in Mr. Puglisi's office on July 9th, and he confirmed that this was never submitted, my complaint. Mr. Puglisi confirmed this complaint would be filed in my presence to confirm that it was actually recorded this time in my presence. Since then, I've also had a survey rendered on my last month of my property showing an encroachment of the Kyle cement wall and fence on the entire west length of my property. I would also like to submit for an easement for this encroachment. This built that was not permitted from the beginning without variances was a spiral staircase from ground to first floor, second floor staircase from second floor to the rooftop deck with an extended platform, height of the HVAC, a shed that's been there all along, and this property encroachment. All lessens the value of my property. There was zero due diligence done by the Kyles, changing all of these plans, requiring approvals and variances, ignoring the laws and rules by the building of these three obstructions that completely block my view on the ocean, with zero consideration to my property value or how this impacts my quality of life and, most importantly, my value of my property, both being affected by the Kyles for their disregard for proper protocol and laws set by the rules of the town of Hempstead. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. As it relates to the issue you mentioned, encroachment of some structure, wall, or fence, have you discussed that with your neighbors?
I have not. I've not spoken to them since I saw both of these staircases going up. They never talked to me. We were friends. I'm sorry to say, we were friends until this happened. And the day that Mr. Kyle brought me over to his property in September and said, I want to show you our plans, I'm like, I'm so excited for you. That's wonderful. That's great. And I went to his backyard and the end of his property, and I said, so nothing is going to go past this, right? And he said, no, no, no. The spiral staircase goes from the second floor to the top deck. I said, so nothing goes this way. I said that twice. I mean, I didn't come out and say, and you're not going to block my view. But that's what I said. And he said, no, nothing goes past this building.
So as it relates to
Yes.
that encroachment issue,
Correct.
that
Well, this is
is
now something that I decided I need to get a survey to see what's my property and what's not my property, how much they have on my property with their shed that's been there all along. All of the plans that I've been looking online, nothing shows that shed that butts up against my property.
So just as it relates to the encroachment part, I
Yes.
just want to tell you, that is not within our jurisdiction. I want you to know that.
Sorry.
As it relates to a shed, if there's Ms. Cozzolino, is there a shed on the property that
There was a shed in the property. It is going to be removed. Yes, they actually are going to be removing it completely. They are aware of that.
Was it shown on the materials?
No, because it was a Tupperware, not Tupperware, but it's a vinyl.
All of the pictures you can see how.
Is there any other things you can address maybe outside of this?
The other thing that I would like to address was the AC units that Ms. Cullen brought up. The AC units have to meet DFE. They have to be brought up. So unfortunately, where we had originally placed them, which was on a rear addition of the house, was obviously going to be in the same area. We lifted them up a little bit higher, simply because the contractor wanted to create a platform for them and not place them on top of the shower structure, which was our original plan.
Well, to the extent that you might facilitate some neighborly resolution of this outside of this forum, that might be useful.
I will bring it up to the Kyles. I don't know how this,
It's not our jurisdiction, but,
I understand.
neighbors have to live with neighbors, and,
They
we'll
have to be
address-
courteous. I
We'll
understand.
address the issues that are before this board, but it'd be nice to know it, try to work
And you
together.
can see in my journal that I gave you times and dates of everything that was constructed, and best I could. I've done everything I could possibly do to give you all the information you needed today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Anything else you'd like to add, Ms. Kozolina?
No, I believe that completes and concludes my presentation.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
I would just move, Mr. Chairman, that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Everyone who signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you. Have a
Second.
nice-
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have case 57225 Oceanside, John Mitchell, special exception to maintain shed with roof over higher and larger than permitted and exceeding the horizontal maximum on both sides, also known as 3350 Poplar Street.
Come on. Morning.
Good morning. My
Afternoon.
name is Ashley Locunis on behalf of ASB Engineering. The office is located at 1924 Belmar Avenue in Belmar, New York. I apologize, Andrew Brom couldn't make it today. He's not feeling well. I am here today on behalf of Mr. John Mitchell, who is the owner and occupant of the subject property located at 3350 Poplar Street. And I would like to note also that Mr. Mitchell is here in the audience with us. We are here as a result of an application filed with the building department for a shed with roof over. This project is located in a Residence B zone, and I think it's called a pavilion on the plans, but when it was rejected, it was called a shed with roof over by Mr. Camerata. Like I said, this is in a Residence B zone, and as a result, we are requesting a special exception for the shed with roof over, being higher and larger than permitted. The maximum allowed height is 9 feet, where 13 feet is existing, for which we are requesting relief of 4 feet. Additionally, the existing square footage is 267 square feet, where the maximum allowed is 144 square feet, for which we are requesting relief of 123 square feet. Lastly, the horizontal maximum of 12 is exceeded on both sides, with the existing being 15 feet 8 inches by 17 feet.
Wait, I'm sorry, 15?
Feet 8 inches
Okay,
by 17 feet 1 inch.
so it's all four sides?
Yes, and we are requesting relief of 3 feet 8 inches and 5 feet 1 inch respectively.
Okay, I assume it has power in it. Does there in that door, is that storage or is that a bathroom? What's in that?
Storage, it's only storage, there's no AC,
Not
no
further
heat, there's not even
closed.
insulation.
There's just electric for light?
Just light, yes, but there's no,
No
you know,
plumbing?
Nope.
And what is that thing?
Excuse
There's
me, I said no
something that
electric and I
almost
meant
looks like a
plumbing.
scooter, but it can't be because it has wheels on one side.
I apologize, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Can I
You know
see?
those little things people used to ride in the, like the security mall?
Yes.
It almost looks like that, but it's not that because it has like two rows in the front and then flat stuff and a handle. Do you have your photos?
To hose. To what?
Is it a wheel of hose?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's an auto vacuum for the bottom of the pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
Blue, it's not blue.
looks great.
It is.
It's not a permanent structure.
No, it's not.
Yes, that's the cart that moves the auto vac. Kids are in the pool, I remove the auto vac, and
Wow, my auto vac looks way less fancy than that. I gotta get one of those.
So does mine.
You have like the little Jandy.
Yeah, I have the old school one that
Yeah,
floats
jump
around and gets clogged and you have to empty it every 30 minutes. Mr. Mitchell is looking to use the shed like we discussed for storage, and then the main purpose for the roof over is for some shade and to provide furniture for when the children are in the deep end of the pool. The deep end of the pool is right in front of the roof over, and Mr. Mitchell has 3 kids. As a result of redoing the backyard, an application for a hot tub was also filed, which has been approved. And there was also an application filed to redo the masonry steps in the front. Both of those applications will be closed out should this application be approved. The pool was inspected and was closed out and granted a certificate of completion on May 14th of 2024. And lastly, Mr. Mitchell has spoke with many of his neighbors, and I have 17 letters of approval to submit to the board.
We'll accept those in evidence. And will your client consent to a condition that the shed will not be further enclosed or the overhang?
Yes, he will consent.
Okay. Okay. Mrs. D'Amato just likes the vacuum.
Yes, I
She
do
she
like-
focused on the vacuum. No, it's not.
I like the vacuum.
The vacuum may need a variance one day.
If Bubba Bryan was here, it would.
Well, probably. That concludes your presentation.
It does. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Lowe, you and your client and anyone else who signed in on the case will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's ready.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Next, we have case 57325, Belmore, Christina M. Barnett, and Christopher F. Kessinger. Variance, side yards aggregate, construct addition, open below, attached to dwelling, also known as 119 Clubhouse Road.
Side yard aggregate's the only thing he's looking for.
Richard Bronchick, B-R-O-N-C-H-I-C-K for JL Drafting, 707 Route 110, Farmingdale, New York.
Good morning. Christopher Kessinger, 119 Clubhouse Road, Belmore, New York, 11710.
This guy's got 6 million closed permits. Okay. Go ahead.
I believe it's now good afternoon.
Yes.
We are requesting a
Didn't say that.
variance for an aggregate side yard for a proposed addition to an existing dwelling. We're proposing a 10.9-foot aggregate side yard instead of the required 12.5 feet for a proposed raised addition open underneath, the underneath portion to be used as a carport. The addition is to add space for a growing family.
Bless you.
Gesundheit, yeah. When the applicants purchased the house, which currently has 2 bedrooms, in 2016, they had no children. They now have 2 young children, aged 1 and 3, and Although the addition is for 2 bedrooms, 1 for each child, there will be a net increase of only 1 bedroom, as one of the existing bedrooms will be converted into a sitting room area, play area, and also access way into the new bedrooms. We should note that this is an undersized property of only 3,750 square feet, and there's no other location on the property to put the addition. We'd also like to note that this proposal is in character with other properties in the neighborhood, and particularly on this street. We would like to call attention to such other properties as numbers 2018, 123, 125, 2013, 114, 2821, and 2833, which, according to Google Maps anyway, also appear to have aggregate side yards less than required by code. We've also consulted neighbors on the sides and across the street, although it's only verbal, but all 4 people did consent to this application. And I'll take questions.
Would your client agree to a condition, if we were to approve this, that this carport area underneath not be in any way further enclosed in the future?
I agree to that.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, any abstention?
You don't need this, okay, thank you.
Next. To lot area
Next, we have
occupied,
case
side yard,
57425, Belmore, Christopher Charles, variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, rear yard, construct 2-story addition and wood deck, both attached to dwelling, also known as 104 Barber Road. Have you sworn in from earlier? Just your name and address again for the record.
Should I wait? No? Good morning again. My name is Ashley Lokianese from Mark Anthony Architects. Our office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore, New York. I am here today on behalf of our clients, Mr. Christopher and Sarah Charles, who are the owners and occupants of the subject property located at 104 Barber Road in Belmore, New York. We are here today as a result of an application filed with the building department for a proposed 2-story side addition as per FEMA guidelines and for a proposed rear partial deck. The proposed overall lot coverage exceeds the 35% maximum that is allowed in a Residence C zone for which this property is located, having a proposed lot coverage of 40.13%, and for which we are requesting relief of 5.13%. I would like to note that the proposed deck is 3.77% of that lot coverage overage. The required side yard setback is 8.6 feet, and the proposed side yard setback is 5.03 feet, for which we are requesting, on the east side of the property, just so we're clear, which we are requesting relief of 3.57 feet. As a result, this also affects the side yard aggregate, which is required to be 25.8 feet minimum and is proposed at 15.03 feet, for which we are requesting relief of 10.77 feet. Lastly, the required rear yard setback for the 2nd-story addition is required to be 25 feet. The proposed 2nd-story addition has a rear yard setback of 24.45 feet. So for which we're requesting relief of just 0.55 feet, just for the 2nd story. The 1st floor is in line with zoning code and is pretty de minimis in nature. I would like to note that this 2-story addition is completely in line with the existing 2-story dwelling. The 2-story addition allows for a proposed family room, office, half bathroom, and mud room on the 1st floor, and then on the 2nd floor allows for 2 additional bedrooms with lots of closet space and a proposed Jack and Jill bathroom shared between the 2 proposed bedrooms. Mr. and Mrs. Charles have both grown up in the town of Hempstead and have chosen to put down roots in Belmore for them and their 3 children. They have owned the house since 2020 and are looking for additional space for their continuing to grow family. Mr. and Mrs. Charles have spoken with their neighbors regarding this project. As a result, I do have 4 letters of support that I would like to submit. All of the neighbors that we spoke with were in favor, and as far as we know, none of the neighbors have any issues, at least none were voiced to us. And those that we did speak with personally were very supportive. Lastly, I would like to mention that there is a fence permit that was filed in conjunction with this application, which has since been issued and will be closed out during the construction process should this be approved. These are our only requests. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion? Okay,
I just have a question.
Sure.
Why do you have a second entrance there on the side?
Why do they want it? Oh, because it leads to the mudroom. There's a proposed mudroom. That's where the mudroom's gonna be, so it's, an entrance where they can leave, their shoes and coats and everything. On the first floor is a proposed mudroom.
which one?
Stairs going from that first floor to
Hmm?
the second floor.
Oh, that's the next case.
You mean inside the home?
I don't know.
No.
It's not here yet.
In the new addition, is there a staircase from the first floor to the second?
Okay.
I don't believe so. No, just the only stairs are the stoop outside. The stairs are,
73.
located in the existing,
Yeah.
living room, in between the living room and the garage, and that's what leads
July
to the second
3rd.
floor.
Mhm.
Anything, connecting, if the board approves the new addition, you show on the plan a 10-foot open, a framed opening.
Just get to the
On
floor plan.
page eight,
Why did we issue, why did we issue an order to appeal in the next case? Mhm. To
Small
sign.
openings, yes, I see it. Yes, what about it?
Would your client or you agree that this 10-foot framed opening remain as a 10-foot framed opening and not closed?
No, it just.
I think so. I mean, they want the opening, so I don't see the harm. I would say yes.
So you would commit to your client?
Yes.
Okay.
I understand the reasoning, you don't want to close it off and, turn it into something else. I totally understand, and I'll happily let them know that that's the correct move to make. Of course.
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on decision calendar. Ms. Lowe, you and anyone else who signed in on the case will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do we have any Band-Aids nearby? Stop it. Do we have any Band-Aids and alcohol wipes nearby? Easy.
Just wanted to.
Next, we have case 46525 Belmore, Color Corporation doing business as Villa de Aqua, renewal of grant to maintain ID sign not permitted in Res C District, setback 7 feet from Belmore Avenue, also known as 2565 Belmore Avenue.
My name is Anila Pantazzi. I do reside at 2700 Corner Lane, Belmore, New York 11710. I'm here today to represent Mr. Tom Ulay, Kula Corp, in reference to 46525, the sign that he has in front of the restaurant.
Did you sign in, ma'am?
Yeah,
Somebody signed in for Tom.
yeah, I wrote down I didn't know how to do it, honestly. My
Well,
apologies.
put your name,
My name?
not his
Okay.
name. He's not here.
You know, this case was on a different day, and we had to send that notice ordering someone to appear. Do you know why? We don't like to do that, but we weren't sure why no one appeared.
Understandable. Mr. Ule Tom, he was on a surgery and misplaced most likely the paper. He apologizes for this and told me to let you know that did his best to bring me somebody here today because he didn't want it to miss
Okay.
this.
Right.
And the address to which we sent the earlier paper, that is still the place we should continue to send them?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
All right, so this is a renewal of a grant to maintain a sign, which is not permitted in the Residency District, setback 7 feet from Belmore Avenue. The building department inspected the property on July 3rd, 2025, and they found that all conditions previously imposed by this board have been complied with. Do you have anything you'd like to add, ma'am?
No, really.
Okay, any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you so
Second?
much.
All in favor? Any opposed? You too.
Next, we have case 47525 Oceanside Great Lincoln LLC. Amy Seibert, install one double-face illuminated detached pylon sign, 109 square feet per face, overall size 218 square feet, overall height 20 feet, clearance 5 feet 6 inches from grade to bottom of sign, setback 12.99 feet from Atlantic Avenue and 13.65 feet from Long Beach Road, also known as 12 through 70 Atlantic Avenue.
Dennis Cook, 435 Maple Avenue, Westbury, New York, 11590. I'm here representing Great Lincoln LLC for the Great Lincoln Shopping Center. They're proposing a new double-faced aluminum detached pylon sign where the actual text area is 109 square feet, and the size of the sign is 218 square feet. The overall height is 20 feet. The clearance is 5'6" from grade to the bottom to the sign, and the setback is 12.99 feet from Atlantic Avenue and 13.65 feet from Long Beach Road. My client, Amy Struble, she inherited the shopping center from her mother, who passed away. And since she inherited it, she's trying to clean the shopping center up, make sure that all open permits from previous tenants are closed out, and give it an overall facelift. It kind of got neglected over time. And one of the things that is important is, visualization of what's in the shopping center, obviously. The existing sign, it's just an outdated kind of box, no borders, and it only fits the names of 4 stores on it. Where right now in the shopping center there are 14 stores. And as you know, when you're looking for a particular place of business and you're driving down the road, if there's the sign that has, in a decent sized letter, what you're looking for, it's a lot safer, it's a lot easier, so you don't look into the shopping center to find where you're trying to go and keep your eyes off the road. Also, the new sign is, in my opinion, a lot more cleaner and aesthetically pleasing than the old sign. And we're just aiming to make this a better shopping center and retain, good tenants and help the overall community with better businesses.
I know you're keeping this sign. I'm only one of the group, but when I look at the diagram, the rendering of the sign, and I see where it's a very, very busy intersection, as you know. I don't like that it's only about 4 to 5 feet visibility underneath. I understand that the retail persons need to have this much sign face, but I'd almost rather, but again, we're gonna have to deliberate. I'd rather see the sign taller with more underneath space for the visibility of that corner, because that, like, Atlantic Avenue and Long Beach Road, it doesn't get much busier than that. And while there's not really anywhere to pull out, for example, there, still that corner's so busy that, you know, I may ask the board to deliberate on a taller sign, give you the same face, but some more space, because even though, you know, after you have those two pylons, really, there's only 4 feet from the footings to the bottom of the
Yeah, if
sign.
you're driving like a large SUV or something, that might not be enough. It might need to be a little higher so you could see through it.
About 12 feet.
I just, such a busy intersection. But, okay.
Well, you're familiar with it, so.
Yeah.
All right, that concludes your presentation, I
Yeah.
take it. All right, any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar, be notified by mail the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Second,
Second.
that concludes the morning, all in favor? All
Aye.
in favor, that concludes the morning calendar. We'll break for lunch.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
No decisions, Dookie. You're just a poor pensioner living on a fixed income. Which one was that in? The original? Oh. That was the original Godfather. Oh, yeah.
Do we have a motion to close the morning's hearing?
A motion to close the morning hearings.
Is there a second?